Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for tuning in. Um, I will be muting everybody and hitting my video. But just before we get started, if you have 2 yoga blocks, a strap or a belt, and a blanket.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Understanding my video. Okay, there we go. Those are lovely birds. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we'll wait a couple of minutes. So far, it's just you and me, Teresa. Hi, Dawn. How are you? I've muted everyone just so we don't get a lot of random noise. And also as a suggestion, hi. I was told that just to get a better image as far as video, it's good to turn off your video so that you don't get a lot of spotty internet distraction with the video. But you could try it out having your video on. It was just a suggestion because people's bandwidth aren't always compatible with all of the live streaming that we're doing, especially because we're all at home now. So it's just stuff to kind of try out and play with. But as far as yoga props, we will be using blocks. You can use 2 books if you'd like. You can use something that can support your hands. You'll want to get a blanket and then a yoga strap, but any belt will do, a jump rope, a bathrobe, or a towel of some sorts. I'm sure you guys have already gotten your yoga props down. So we'll begin on our backs, and we're gonna start off in Ardha Shavasana, which is your knees are bent. And I'll go ahead and show you right now. And if you do have regular yoga blocks, we can use this. Before we lie back, you can place your block on a medium setting, horizontally behind you, underneath your bra strap, your shoulder blades. And then you can place your second block on the medium setting, right behind it. That will be supporting your head. So either way, we're gonna lie back. Your knees are bent, and then allow your arms to fall out any way it wants to. Maybe the palms are facing up, or maybe the palms are facing down. Whatever you desire here, whatever your body needs, and just I invite you to take a gaze that you most prefer. Maybe it's with your eyes open, or maybe it's with your eyes closed. And now we'll begin here and just paying attention to our breath. The rise and the fall of our chest. Now take a smooth inhale. Open your mouth, let it go. We'll do that again. Inhale fully and completely. And then exhale, let it go. And then maybe on the next round, you can exhale with a great big sound, just a big sigh or what have you. Take an inhale. And exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. And now slowly begin to close your mouth, and we'll take the inhale and the exhale through the nose. We're going to use our Kumbhaka pranayama. Kumbhaka is thinking of the torso as a vessel, as a vase, and breathing into the top of the vase and then exhaling and spilling the vase out all the way, releasing it down to the bottom. Take an inhale through that vase of yours. Pause at the top of the inhale for 2 seconds. And then exhale, release. Coming back to the inhale. Hold at the top. Pause for 2 seconds. And then exhale, release the breath out. Inhale fully and completely up to the top. Pause for 2. Exhale, release. Continue. Take one more. Now go back to your natural, normal breathing. And this time we'll layer on the exhale. So when we come into the exhale, we're going to do the same. We're going to pause at the base of the exhale for 2 seconds and then take it up to the inhale and then pause at the top of the inhale for 2 seconds, and then we'll keep going in and out. So if that vase helps you, that visualization helps you, use it. If it doesn't, then just use your body. Okay, we'll begin. Take an inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Keep going. And then slowly come back to your regular breathing. And now we'll cultivate, we'll start our Ujjayi breath. So this Ujjayi breath is better heard or better established with the mouth open. So we'll start with the mouth open, and as if you're standing in front of a mirror or a window, fog it all out. So let's exhale and fog it out. So we hear that slight constriction in the back of the throat, that slight whisper sound, right? So take that constriction, keep it, and then inhale. And then exhale. And then inhale. Keep going. And now slowly start to close the lips. Not necessarily shutting them tight and gripping them, but just allowing them to close and keeping a soft opening in the center of the lips. And we still hear this wave, ocean-like sound. We use this breath to remind us of our breath. A lot of the times we hold our breath if we come across any stress or anything frustrating, not just on the mat, but off the mat. So remember that there's always a resemblance between the work we do on the mat and the work we do out off the mat. Not only does this breath anchor us in to our breath, but it also anchors us into our present moment, the here and now. And then another benefit of Ujjayi breath is knowing, learning through the breath, going through these poses, and then seeing, gauging, is my breath cut short because I'm in this pose? Can I back off a little bit, and then will my breath continue to move fluidly? Once again, another thing we can take off the mat. Are we doing too much? So if you're on a lift, just roll over off to the side and place your blocks or whatever you had out from underneath you, and then lower back down. Hug your knees into your chest, and then take your knees into a circle on the right. So circle your knees to the right, and incorporating that Ujjayi breath. And going the opposite direction. Bring your knees back to center. Hold onto your right knee and straighten the left leg down the mat. Press the left heel down into the mat and point the toes up to the ceiling, the left toes up to the ceiling. So now you can feel that you're flexing your foot. You can even lift your head and notice that your toes are going up, your heel is going forward. Yes? Okay. Lower your head back down and take your ankle into a circle. So rotate your ankle. And now rotate it the opposite direction. And now with the knee, holding both hands onto the right knee, we're going to move that leg into the hip socket and circulate the knee. But what really we're doing is we're rotating the leg in the socket, right? Taking it one direction and then going the opposite direction. Bring it back to center, rock it side to side, really juicing up that hip socket, and then switching. So right leg straightens down onto the mat, left knee comes in. And then again, circulating the ankle in one direction. And then doing the same thing we did on the left to the right. We're going to flex the right foot, toes going up, heel going forward. Take the circle of the ankle the opposite direction. And now you can play with your right foot here, and you can notice when you point your foot forward, your right thigh is not working. It's not activated. But when you flex it, it firms, yeah? Okay. So now we're gonna circle the leg in the hip socket in one direction. You might hear some cracks and pops, and then take the leg to the opposite direction. Gosh, I'm really cold. I'm like shivering. Bring your knee back into your chest. We're going to bring our hands onto our knee. We're going to do some core activation. So from here, draw the navel in and up the belly. Good. So you feel that your core, you're not sucking in. You're really bracing the muscles in the core. So imagine if someone is going to punch you in the stomach. You don't want to have a hollow belly. You want to have a nice and firm tummy. So draw the navel in and up. Hold on to your left knee. Lift your head, your shoulders off the mat. Reach your arms forward. Keep flexing through that right foot. And then exhale, lower down. Lower the left leg, right knee comes back in. We're going to do the same core activation. So draw the navel in and up. Another way to say it is to firm the lower belly to the back of the body. Good. Now lift your head off the mat, shoulders off the mat, flexing through the left foot, reach your arms forward. And then inhale yourself all the way back down. Good. Keep the right leg, actually bend both knees and then grab onto your strap. Left knee is bent. Take the right foot up and put the strap on the heel arch towards the back of the foot here. And you're going to take both straps into both hands and then bend your right knee. And then straighten. Bend, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, and keep going. Keep it up straight, and now you can play with it here. Open, close the leg. Bring it across the body. I like to inhale, take it out. Exhale, take it across. Maybe you circle it a little more. So just explore. And we'll switch. Left heel arch into the strap, right knee is bent, right foot is on the mat. And we're gonna do the same thing. Both straps into each hand, bend, exhale, inhale, straighten. Okay, and then now we can play and just investigate, see what we need. Taking it out, bringing it in, maybe taking it into a little rotation. I like to inhale, take it out, exhale across. Don't forget about the breath. Good. Take the strap out of the foot. Place the strap away from you. Hug your knees into your chest. Cross at your ankles. Bring your knees in. Bend and flex the feet. Point and flex, I should say. Good. And then uncross and take them to the opposite. Overlap. Point and flex. Nice. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Cross your ankles. Rock from side to side. And then take out the cross roll onto your right side. For a moment, coming into fetal. Press your top hand down. Bring yourself up into hands and knees. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. And then your knees go directly underneath your hips. And then press the tops of the feet down so that they're nice and rooted. So we often tend to forget about the feet. Push those down. And then on an inhale, open up the chest, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lower the head, push the spine all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale, come into cow, roll the shoulders back, broaden out through the collarbones. Exhale, push the navel into the spine. Keep going, keep the inhales for the cow, opening up the chest, and the exhales coming into cat pose, rounding through the back. Then feeling whatever you need to feel as far as what does your body need. Maybe you need to waggle through the hips side to side. Maybe you need to knock your head side to side. Moving intuitively with the breath here. Really linking breath and movement. And then come meet me in a neutral spine. Maybe you need to reposition the wrists so that they're underneath the shoulders. Straighten through the right leg, curl the toes under, and then we're gonna rock forward and back. Getting a little calf stretch here. And then come back to center. Let's do the same thing. Activate the core, draw the navel in and up. And then on an inhale, lift the left arm forward. Pause here. Now come into the hips, hug the outer hips in. So pretend like you're squeezing an imaginary almond in between your body with your thighs, with your hips, squeezing them into the center of the body. And then exhale, lower the left hand, bring the right knee back in. Doing the opposite side, left leg straightens, and then we rock forward and back for a nice calf stretch. Coming right back to center. Take an inhale, reach the right up towards the front of the room. Stay here and then hug the outer hips into the center of the body. So we want to keep the hips nice and level. We want to keep them squared as if we were balancing something on the hips. Bring the right hand down, bring the left knee in. Big toes touch behind you. Spread your knees apart. Lower down into child's pose. Come back to your breathing. Allow yourself to recenter. So really what yoga is asking us is to quiet all of the noise so that we're able to take in all of the information throughout this yoga practice, all of the instructions, the actions of the body. Plant your hands down, press back up into all fours. Again, repositioning the hands and the knees. Draw the navel in and up. On an inhale, lift your right leg off the mat. But pretend like those toes are still curled up on the mat. So we are still flexing our right foot. Hug the outer hips and really use that core stability. And then stretch the left arm forward. Breathe here. Lower the left hand, lower the right knee. Push back, child's pose. On your inhale, press back up all fours. Take your left leg, flex the foot, hug the outer hips and lift the foot. Keep the hips nice and level, and then on an inhale, reach the right arm forward. Check to see if you've locked the elbow in the left arm, if you have a tiny micro bend to that left elbow. Lower the hand, lower the knee, big toes touch, child's pose. Forehead onto the mat. So really working steadily, slowly, not rushing into anything. On a smooth inhale, come back up to all fours. And we're going to do that together, just kind of smoothly. Smooth inhale, lift the right leg up, pause, lift the left arm forward. Breathe. Hug the outer hips and use the core. Left hand down, right knee down. Taking it to the other side. Stretch the left leg off the mat. Flex the foot. Hug the outer hips in. Reach the right arm forward. Smooth breaths. Right hand down. Left knee onto the mat. Last child's pose before we get up. Lower the forehead down onto the mat. Now this child's pose is always here for you whenever you need to take a rest. There is no judgment. There is no bad in coming into this pose. It's actually, it makes you a smart practitioner because you are not overdoing, you are not forcing yourself. Let's begin to straighten our arms, stretch your fingers forward, spread through the fingers, and then turn your fingers out just a little bit. Turn them out to the sides of the wall. Lift your forearms, lift your elbows off of the mat, and really press through the whole palm of the hand, the front palm, the back palm, the right and left corners. Push down through the fingers, so much so that they're more like suction cups, your whole palm, and your fingers kind of start to round and curl. And now we're going to come up through the arm. So the forearm and the elbow is off the mat. And now we're going into the upper arm, the section from the elbow to the shoulder. And let's spin the inner upper arm out so it gives more space from the shoulder head to the neck. Spinning the inner upper arms out. Let's shift our weight into the hands, lift the hips up, curl your toes underneath you, and then shift your hips back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your dog here, bend one knee and bend the other. But continue pressing that weight into the hands. Now hopefully your feet are hips width distance or even wider here. Good. Still using the navel, no arching of the back here. And then walk your hands to your feet. Forward fold Uttanasana. Let your head just hang. Bend your knees so your chest rests on your thighs, taking it into a soft Uttanasana, soft forward fold. Grab onto the elbows. Continue to let your head hang and sway side to side. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Release the elbows. Switch the overlap of the forearms and again sway side to side. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Release the elbows. Bring your hands to your hips. Draw the elbows in towards each other so that they're magnets. Now you feel the opening, the broadening through the collarbones, the slight pressing in of the shoulder blades into the spine. Navel in and up. Keep the knees bent. Come up with a flat back. Good. Walk up to the front of your mat. So we're gonna do a half sun salutation, and traditionally people like to cue Tadasana with the big toes touching and then the heels apart. Now if you feel a little unstable here and wobbly, you're always welcome to place your feet at least hip width distance apart. So you're gonna start at the front of your mat. Either way of standing is fine. And now you're gonna press down through the feet, lift the thighs, firm them into the bone. So lift the kneecaps up. Remember how we were talking about pointing and flexing and how you feel your thigh muscle engaging? So we're gonna lift the kneecaps up. We're gonna engage the thigh muscles as we're standing. We're gonna come into the outer hips, and again, we're gonna do the same hugging action that I talked about, as if there's an almond in the middle of our pelvic bowl. We're trying to get those outer thighs, outer hips to squeeze into that almond. So it's gonna be a slight clenching of the buttocks. It's not gonna be a lot though. Now we're going to draw the flesh of the buttocks down towards the heels and bring the frontal hip bones up towards the chest. Notice if I don't do this, what happens? Then the low back gets compromised and my bum just like flicks up, right? So rather than that, I'm going to draw the flesh of the buttocks down, frontal hip bones go up towards my chest. Still working the legs, keeping the thighs active, pressing down through the feet. Yeah, it's a lot. And then neutralizing the pelvis, so keeping it nice and squared and level. Bring the arms out to the sides, palms facing forward. Imagine an anatomy model. The palms are forward, right? And then begin to close your eyes and really just imprint this pose here. half sun salutation A. On an inhale, reach the arms up, fingertips to ceiling. Keep hugging that core in. And then exhale, hinge your hips forward, hinging at the hips, lower all the way down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Place your hands on the backs of your calves. Lengthen your chest up. Keep the core engaged. Exhale, forward fold. On an inhale, come up with a flat back. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Keep that core engaged. Immediately draw the tailbone down. Bring your hands to center. 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Lower yourself down. Hands on your calves. Lift your chest up. Spread through the collarbones. We did this in cat-cow, right? Keep the core engaged. Exhale, fold back into your legs. On an inhale, come up with a flat back, knees bent. Reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Flesh of the buttocks down towards the heels. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Keep the navel engaged. Keep the core engaged. Windmill the arms up. Exhale, forward fold softly into the legs. Hands on calves, lengthen your chest up. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Keep the core engaged, bring your hands down through heart center. Tadasana, mountain pose. Sun salutation C. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, soft bend in the knees as you forward fold. Hands to calves, lift your heart. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands down. Step your right foot back. Low lunge here. Really broaden out through the collarbone. So maybe use blocks on underneath each hand and really feel the opening of the chest. Lower the back knee down, flatten out the back foot. Reach your arms up overhead, coming into Anjaneyasana. And again, now we come back into the upper arms. So notice when your palms are kind of, let's see, how do I explain it? Bring the palms to face each other. And then you notice a little bit of the shoulder contracting into the neck. Now, turn the pinkies behind you and you feel a little more expansion, a little more space. So let's turn the pinkies behind us. And then hinge your hips forward just a little, but also keep hugging the outer hips in. Exhale, bring your hands down onto the mat. Charge the back foot up, come back into a low lunge, and then step back, plank pose. Hands again underneath the shoulders. We're going to be here for 1 breath. Knees come down, flatten out the toes, and then really come up and out of the shoulders. Keep that core engaged, so don't dip. Okay, keep the core engaged, hips come up. Shift forward, bend your elbows, and as you lower, graze the sides of the body with the arms. Good. Release your forehead to the mat or come onto one cheek. Straighten your arms behind you. Just gonna catch my breath a little bit. Okay, coming into the tops of the feet, press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Even get the pinky toe side of the foot down. Good. Firm the low belly into the back body, so really use the core. And you'll notice when you use the core, naturally, the buttocks flesh goes back to the heels. So you can even practice this, like undo the core. Notice the big dump, the big low back arch. Now Use the core, press through the tops of the feet. Good. Keep that work. And then inhale, lift the chest, so reach the shoulders back. Fingertips reach back. Now lift the feet off the mat. Keep hugging the outer hips in. Keep reaching through the toes. Keep the core engaged. Exhale, lower the head or back or to the opposite cheek. Plant your hands right next to the ribs. Curl your toes under. Reach the toe, walk the toes forward. Use your knees, bend your knees to come up to all fours and then press back down dog. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. On a smooth inhale, lift your left leg, keep the hips squared, hug the outer hips in, flex through the left foot. Shift forward, round the spine, and then step the foot next to the left thumb. If you had a hard time, lower the back knee and then grab that foot forward. Good. So we're gonna come into low lunge, so lift the back knee up. Open up through the collarbones. Now lower the back knee, flatten out the foot. Press down through the front foot, through the right knee, and then inhale, come up, Anjaneyasana, other side. This time we're gonna turn the thumbs toward each other, palms facing forward, and now I think you can feel more of that shoulder getting into the neck. Turn the palms toward each other and then turn the pinkies back slightly, getting more room in through the shoulder and the neck. Keep hugging the outer hips in, really pinch that almond in your pelvic bowl. And then maybe shift your hips, your weight forward just a tad to feel a little more stretch in that right hip flexor, that right psoas. Last breath here. Exhale, plant your hands down, charge up the back foot, pause, low lunge, step forward, hands to calves, chest forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Hands down through heart center. Down by your side, Tadasana. Hold and pause here. Remember, the legs are active, thighs are lifting, outer hips firming in, buttocks flush rolling back, frontal hip bones going up towards the chest, arms out by the side, and then you feel that slight pressing of the shoulder blades into the spine. Keep your chin to parallel with the floor. Sun salutation, see other side. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the ceiling, pause. Hold the core. Exhale, hinge forward, a soft bend in the knees as you lower down. Hands to calves, lengthen up. Exhale, fold, plant your hands down. This time, step your left foot back. Low lunge here, broaden out through the collarbones, navel in and up. Exhale, lower the back knee, flatten out the back foot. Inhale, reach up, Anjaneyasana. This time, reach your right hand back, left arm forward. Keep hugging the outer hips in. Keep hugging the navel into the spine. And then reaching your right fingertips towards the back of the room, left towards the front. Come back, Anjaneyasana. Pause. Hands go down to the mat. Charge up the back foot. Step back plank. One breath here. Lower the knees down, flatten out the feet. Keep working the core as you shift forward. Bend your elbows and graze the sides of the body with your arms. 3, 2, 1. This time, reach your arms forward. Actually, my apologies. We're not warmed up just yet. Reach your arms out to the side like a Superman, palms facing down. We're going to take Shalabhasana again, just with different arms. I'm just going to move my blanket so you don't see it. Okay, better. Okay, arms go straight out, and I don't have enough room for this right arm, so that's okay. But you get the picture. Your arms are going to be in a T. You're a Superman. So press the tops of the feet down. Lift the kneecaps off. Lift the kneecaps up. Hug the outer hips in. And then on an inhale, lift your chest up. Reach your arms out to the side. I'm going to cactus my arms, and you can always cactus if you want. From the lower belly to the back body. Now lift your legs off. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Lower your head down. Plant the hands beside your chest. Curl the toes underneath you. Use your knees here. Press down through the knees, come up, and then shift your hips back. Downward facing dog. Now notice my down dog here. I am dumping my chest towards the mat, and I'm really dumping into the low back. I'm really doing like a back bend in this downward facing dog. Instead, I want to draw the navel in and up and get a straight, flat back where it's not curving forward. And I'm just really neutralizing, extending the spine, keeping the spine in its natural extension. On an inhale, lift the right leg up. Round the spine, knee to nose, step the foot next to the right thumb. Coming into low lunge, extend through the collarbones. Hug the outer hips in. So notice the right hip tends to jut out. Pin the right hip in. Nice. Lower the back knee, flatten out the back foot. Reach your arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Pinkies towards the back of the room. Reach your left hand, the fingertips go back, the right fingertips go forward. Keep hugging the outer hips in, keep drawing that navel in and up. Reach your left arm up, Anjaneyasana. Maybe sink your hips a little forward, but keep drawing that navel in. Don't let the abdomen rest on the front thigh. Exhale, plant the hands down onto the mat. Charge up the back foot. Step forward. Hands to calves, heart forward. Exhale, lower down. Draw the navel in and up. Come up with a flat back. Fingertips up to the ceiling. Pause. Urdhva Hastasana. Keep the navel pressing back. And again, avoid back bending. Keep the shoulders stacking above the hips. Bring the hands to heart center. Down to your side. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands to calves, lengthen up. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands down. Step the feet back, plank pose. Really press down through both palms, root and rebound up and out of the palms. Don't hang in your shoulder joints. Lower the bottom knees to the mat, flatten out the toes. Core is engaged as you shift forward, and then bend the elbows, graze the sides of your body as you lower down. Keep the hands next to the ribs and maybe slide them back just a tad so that the wrists are underneath the elbows. Press down through the feet. Engage the core. Inhale. Lift the chest up, roll the shoulders back, baby cobra. Lower the forehead down. Curl the toes underneath you. Maybe you use your knees, or maybe you crawl the toes even farther forward and press up to plank and then downward facing dog. So you have options. 5 full breaths here. Again, you have the option to keep your feet at hips width distance or take them wider. Pressing down through the 10 fingers, spinning the inner upper arms out towards the sides of the room, just like we did when we were in child's pose. Drawing the navel in and up, keeping that integrity of the back, the flat back. And then allowing the heels just to grow heavy. Take an inhale and look in between your hands, and on your exhale, you walk or you jump to the front of the mat. Hands on the backs of the calves. Use your core, lengthen your spine. Heart forward, exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the navel. Up towards the ceiling. Hands down through heart center. Down by your side, back to our Tadasana, our strong mountain pose. Sun salutation A. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Keep a soft bend in the knees as you lower. Bring your hands onto your calves. Lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step the feet back, plank pose. Now you're more than welcome to attempt the full chaturanga, or you can come down to the knees like we've been doing. If you want to attempt the full chaturanga, we really want to push up and out of the palms. Keep the core engaged. We want to shift forward just a tad so that the shoulders are beyond the wrist. And then from here, you want to bend your elbows, chaturanga, hover, and then coming into upward facing dog, flatten out the toes, and then reach your heart forward. Upward facing dog. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Now, if you didn't do the full chaturanga and you did baby cobra, let's all do upward facing dog together. So come into a plank, shift forward, shoulders over wrists. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn the tops of the feet onto the mat, push them down, keep the engagement in the thighs, and then reach the heart forward. Roll the shoulder caps back. Upward facing dog. Don't allow the hips to lower, and then it gets into the low back. Curl the toes, push back, downward facing dog. Remembering the actions of the muscles in this down dog, pushing through the palms, spinning the upper arms out towards the sides of the room. Draw the navel in and up. pubic bone to navel is another way to say frontal hip bones up towards the chest. On an inhale, lift your right leg up. Keep your hips squared. Round the spine, knee to nose. Step the foot in between the hands. Spin the back heel down. And then wing arms up overhead. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Press through the back leg, the back foot, which is your left. Push into that corner edge of the back foot and then firm the back thigh. So it tends to bend, but here, let's straighten it. Good. And now you can bring your hands to your hips just so we're focusing on the legs. Align the knee with the second toe. So don't let the knee cave in. Pull the right outer hip back. And then you could feel that the back leg works with the outer hip. Reach the arms out to the sides of the room. Find your drishti, your gaze point, beyond your middle finger. And then straighten that front leg, parallel your feet. Spin or turn the right heel back and then turn the toes forward, the left toes forward. Push into the corner edge of the right foot as you bend into your left leg. Doing the same thing on the opposite side. Really push into the corner edge of the back foot. Firm the back thigh. Bend your left knee and align it with your second toe. Maybe you find you need to widen your stance here, so just walk the front foot forward. Now you can reach your arms out to the sides, finding your drishti, your gaze point beyond the middle finger. One more breath. Straighten your left leg, parallel your feet. And then reach the right hand, bend your right knee, and then let's come down into our plank pose. Shift back, downward facing dog. Now we can always come down to a child's pose here. Regrouping, recentering, bringing the breath in if it faded away. So now we're going to layer on. Walk your hands forward, turn them out slightly. Curl your toes underneath you, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg up, keep the hips squared, hug the outer hips in, round the spine, knee to nose, step the foot in between the hands, back heel comes down, windmill the arms up and overhead, warrior 2. Pushing into the back edge of the foot, of your left foot, taking the knee right aligned with your second toe. Turn the front palm up to the ceiling, reach your hand behind you, coming into reverse, warrior. You can always straighten here, and then rebend. Come back, warrior 2. Bend your right elbow, press the forearm into the right thigh, reach your left arm up. Side angle pose. Hug the ribs into your body. The front ribs tend to poke out. Hug them in. Reach the top arm, the left arm up, and now align the arm to the ear, to your left ear. Reach your fingertips forward. Utthita Parshva Konasana. Firm your left foot down and then come back up, parallel your feet. Taking the other side, slide your right heel back. Turn the left toes up and over to the front. Push into the knife edge of the right foot. Bend your left knee. Reach the arms out. Making sure the back leg is firm. The right is lining up with second. Front palm up towards the ceiling. Reach your right hand back. Reverse the warrior. Again, you can straighten and rebend. Coming back, warrior two. Bend the left elbow, press it into the forearm to thigh. Reach the top arm, the right arm up. Side angle pose. Fingertips to the front or the back of the room now. Keep the breath going. And then again, noticing if those front ribs have darted out forward, hug them back in. Use the core. Push into the right foot, come back, and then parallel your feet. Step to the front of the mat. Step your left foot back. This time, it's going to be front heel to back heel, or it could be wider. So you can step your right foot out to the right side. Push into your left foot and then bend in your right leg. Reach your arms forward and up, warrior one. Keep hugging the outer hips in and now steer the left hip forward, the right hip back. So in warrior one, we're trying to square our hips as opposed to what we just did warrior two, where hips were out to the side. And we can straighten the front leg and bend. Still draw the pinkies back. Feel that expansion from the shoulder to the neck. Press into the front foot and then step forward. Taking it to the other side, step your right foot back. And so what I was trying to explain is that classically, or I didn't really explain, classically this pose goes front heel to back heel. So it's kind of tight and constricting. So what we could do is just step the foot forward and be more on train tracks rather than on a tightrope. Turn the back toes forward and then push into the right foot, bend in your right and in your left knee. Reach your arms up, firm the outer hips in. This time, steer your right hip forward, your left hip back. Squaring the hips or trying to square the hips. That's the action, but it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to get there. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Keep working the core, otherwise it becomes a back bend and then we injure our low back. So have you noticed if we're not mindful about the front body, the back body gets all the brunt. And then push into the left foot, step forward. Good. So now we're going to get into our sort of kind of our challenging pose here. So it's Virabhadrasana 3. So if you have a wall that you're practicing near, sorry, I have to catch my breath, or if you have blocks, those are options. So let's do something right before. Feet hips width distance or big toes touching. Work the actions in the legs. Draw the flesh of the buttocks down. Reach the arms up and sink the hips back, chair pose. You can reach the fingertips forward. Breathe here and pretend, imagine as if your hips, your buttocks is going to sit at the end of the mat. Press down through the feet, reach the arms up. Hands come back to heart center. Again, inhale, fingertips up, exhale, hips back, chair pose. Press down through your feet, come back up, hands through the heart. Okay, take your feet hips width distance. And now you're going to stretch your right leg back, firm through the belly, reach your hands forward, press through the standing leg and lift the right leg off the mat, warrior 3. Now we want to keep our hips squared here, so really hug the outer hips in. You can always bring your hands down to a block and keep pressing through the heel. Keep the flex in the right foot. Breathe here. Another option is to go against the wall, press, and notice your left hip hug the core, absorb the front ribs, and then step back down. Other side. Press the right standing leg down as you bring the left foot back. Reach the arms forward, creating an equilibrium, a balance here. Reach the arms forward, draw the navel in and up, draw the frontal rib bones in. Lift the left foot, flex it, hug the outer hips in. Try not to let the right hip jut out, and then you can bring your hands onto blocks. Always, always an option. And again, you can use that wall, pressing down through the right leg, lifting the left, squaring off the hips, really using the core, and then standing right back up. Nice. We're gonna take one more, and then we're gonna go down to the ground. So step your feet out, parallel your feet and turn the toes in. Bring your hands onto your hips, doing the same thing. Roll the buttocks flesh down towards the mat. And on an exhale, hinge at the hips, lower yourself all the way down. Plant the left hand right underneath your heart here, and then reach your right arm up. You can always place your hand on a block. But we're trying to get the same thing working here. We're trying to get the hips to square. So notice, did your hip, either hip jut out? Hug them in. Reach the right hand, replace it with the left, and then the left hand extends toward the ceiling. Hug the outer hips in. Lower the left hand, walk the fingers forward, flatten out your back. Walk your hands back just a little. Bring your hands onto your hips, squeeze the inner thighs together, use the core, and then lengthen yourself all the way back up. Nice. Heel toe your feet together, and then you can hop the rest of the way. And then lower back down. Let's sit on our mat. Reach your legs forward. Have them in a V. They don't have to be open super wide. Reach your arms up. Draw the frontal hip bones up towards the chest. Twist over to your right. I'll mirror you. And then reach over towards the foot. Press that left hip down. Keep reaching and then bring your hands on the outsides of the leg. And find your breath here. You can round your back. Reach your right hand in front of your right foot. Turn the palm towards the foot. Thumb down. Reach your top arm up overhead and keep pressing your left hip down. How is the breath? Hug the core in, reach both arms up. Twist over to your right. Reach your fingertips forward. Press down that right hip. Lower the hands on the outsides of the leg. Finding your breath. Flexing through both feet. And having a tiny micro bend through the knees, just so we don't lock them out. And rolling, rounding our backs here. Reach your left arm in front of your left heel, and then turn the palm towards the foot, thumb down, pinky up. Try to grab onto the heel, or I forgot to say, it could be the shin, the ankle, it could be the calf. It doesn't matter where. Just any part of the leg, reach your top arm up. Continue pressing through the right hip. Now, for me, this side is a lot tighter than the other side was. Reach both fingertips up. Bring your hands to your heart. And then bring your hands on the outsides of the thigh. And then make your way down to your mat. Bend your knees into your chest, rock side to side. Come into happy baby, so soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Press your knees down. If you don't reach the edges of the feet, you can press on the backs of the thighs and just push the knees down. Same idea. You can rock side to side here. Hug your knees into your chest. Lift your forehead off the mat. Squeeze yourself into a tiny little ball as you exhale and lower down into Shavasana. If you have a blanket, you can put the blanket underneath your head. You can place a blanket on top of your hips. You can place a blanket underneath your knee. You've worked so hard for this pose. Now we're just softening and letting the body go. No longer utilizing Ujjayi breath, even letting that go. The whole body melts. Shavasana. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring your knees into your chest. Roll onto your right side. Come into fetal position. Use your top hand and bring yourself up to seated, keeping a soft gaze or keeping your eyes closed. Bring your hands through heart center. Find something that you're grateful for. Take an inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow into the heart. With thumbs pressing into the chest, this reminds us that we all come from pure love. Thumbs rise up to meet our lips to remind us to speak words of love. Knuckles of the thumbs press in between our eyebrows, our third eye, to remind us that we're all connected through this same pure love. I think we're all remembering this right now, that we're all connected. We're all the same internally. We're all in this together. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me, and thank yourselves for showing up to your mat. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis. I'm sorry if it got loud. I started breathing loudly because I have little ones in my house. So it's Easter and they're egg hunting apparently throughout the house and around. But I hope it wasn't loud. I unmuted you guys. Hopefully it was okay.
It was great.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Okay, thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.